I am here today with the absolutely incredible Kelly O'Rourke. She is a health and lifestyle coach. She's also an alumni of the Mind Rebel Academy and graduated in the 2019 cohort. And I'm really excited to have you on here today, Kelly, to talk about your journey, like what led you to coaching, your experience in the program, and what you are doing now, because you are doing absolutely incredible things, and I cannot wait to share that. So welcome. It's really great to have you here.
Thank you so much. It is an absolute honor to be here and to share my story. I have to say, Taryn, from the moment I met you and you came into my life has absolutely transformed from the inside out. So I am so grateful for the opportunity to share my story.
It's beautiful. So Kelly, let's talk about what led you here? What led you into the program? Into what led you to find coaching and then, into the academy to become a coach yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the time, we're going to go back a couple of years actually, or just a year and a half when you and I met, which still blows my mind to think about where I am today from a year and a half ago. So a year and a half ago, well, 2 years ago, actually, I had just returned to my full-time corporate job, a job and career I had been in for 10 years, doing something I absolutely loved. And I had just returned to work after my second and what would be my last maternity leave. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to find my feet as a new mom of two, working full time across the city, like that kind of trying to find my stride.
Mm-hmm. And so many people can relate to that.
Yeah. In that return to work, something that I knew I needed to get back to was my own health and fitness. I'm a lifelong athlete, lover of fitness and nutrition, and it was something I was really missing in my life. And so through a friend of mine, I got plugged into a platform and a community that I could do my workouts from home. And I was all of a sudden surrounded by all of these women that were also like pursuing their health and the best of themselves. And I was introduced to personal development and listened to my first audiobook. And I describe those moments. It was like a series of moments in my life as like bringing me back to life.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I was like, oh, here I am.
Yeah. It's like feeding the soul. It's
yeah. Like here's that energy, that spark in my day. I was starting to feel better inside and out. And that commute became like a sacred time in my day. I was consuming audiobooks and podcasts, I was just praying for red light so that I could listen more. Yeah. And I was getting so many like insights and ideas, and among them was this beautiful vision about how I could spend more time with my family, and spend our days together and be outside playing together and feel connected to one another and just feel like true joy every day. Yeah. And it absolutely consumed me, and in the best possible way. I just wanted what was best for myself and my family. And so over the course of a couple weeks, I started building up a community as a Beachbody coach, was the platform that I had been plugged into for my own workouts. And I loved it so much. I started building up a community of my own. And I also started building up this like personal development style business, if you will. I'm not even really sure what it was at the time. It was just like my heart in full expression. And one thing led to another. And after a couple weeks, I ended up resigning from my corporate job, and I went all in 2 feet to pursue this vision. And although I took a running start at it, it wasn't exactly the outcome that I expected. I felt so confused because the vision felt so clear, and yet I just couldn't quite get there.
There was a gap.
There was a big gap. And it was about that time, actually, that you came into my life through a mutual friend of ours, and I remember this so clearly because my husband had prompted me for like weeks to reach out to you. And I kept saying to him, like, not yet. Let me get a little bit more established. Let me get my stuff together a little bit more, and then I'll reach out to her. But as we were just coming up to the new year, and I ended up reaching out to invite you into my gym community to be a guest speaker. And it was in that, you know, because I felt comfortable in that role. I kind of had my feet under me that I could reach out and invite you to be a guest speaker. And I remember you and I hopped on a call to chat about that, and ended up talking for like upwards of 90 minutes. And instantly in that conversation, I knew you were such a piece of my puzzle working with you. And within a couple weeks, I started as a client of yours. It was my first introduction to coaching. And the greatest transformation for me was recognizing that what was really driving my pursuit of my vision at the time was like changing as many external outlets as I could, right? Like get rid of the job, get rid of the commute, create time in my day so that I could just build this vision. And you and I did so much work to help me realize that it actually had nothing to do with my outside world and everything to do with me. And when I shifted that focus and started to really do the work for myself, it was pivotal in my life. And so when the opportunity came up to pursue coaching in the capacity that you do, it was a no-brainer for me. I wanted to, and still want to, and now have the honor to like shout from the rooftops what actually facilitates transformation and change for people. And being
That's huge.
It's been it to say it changed my life is a massive understatement.
Yeah. And I think, Kelly, you're such a, I've just loved working with you in both capacity as client when we were one-on-one, and as the student, as a student coach in the academy, because I think that what everyone watching this can tell is that you lead with your heart, and you are all in. Like in everything you do, you are all in. And you are all in when it comes to your growth and development. You do the work, you peel back the layers, you look at the hard things, you step forward, you embody the vision, like internally embody that vision that is so crystal clear in your mind. That's why I always say to you, I have zero doubt that you are going to get there. Like there is nothing stopping you. You are bulldozing ahead. And it's just a quality that I've always just so loved and admired about you. And of course, I also, as your mentor, I get the honor of even listening to some of your, like in the program, listening to some of your coaching calls and seeing the transformation and the change that you are creating in your clients' lives as it relates to their health and wellness. It's beyond, like you said, an outlet, like beyond. It's beyond any of those things.
It is beyond. I mean, it's not uncommon for me to send you a voice note after a session that I've had with a client to say, like, this is beyond the kind of experience and transformation that I thought I could create for someone. And what we're tapping into in this realm, in this industry of health and fitness, like the depth of the change and transformation that we're creating for people is it's incredible. And what's really, I mean, it's almost magical, to be honest, to me, is that in the same way that I learned that in order to change the trajectory of my life and step into this vision, I had to go within and less about the external circumstances. Right. It's as if it's a beautiful mirror for my clients in health, which has always been my passion. And to be able to help people understand that it's not about what program they do, what challenge they do, what this. It's about really what's at the root for them, and doing the internal work. And so it feels like such a gift, actually, to be able to give back in a field that I love in a way that is beyond what I ever could have imagined.
Wow, it's so beautiful. And again, I love that you came into the coaching program knowing the niche you wanted to serve. Like, you had this passion for health, and you knew the niche that you wanted to serve, and then you also knew that the gap was this skill set in what we do, which is transformational coaching.
Yeah.
And so now, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, I had come into this with a little bit of experience, having built a community already, and was getting people connected to a platform I loved for my health and fitness. Yeah. And what I was noticing was that not everybody was having the same experience with it that I had. Right. You know, when I got plugged into this community and the personal development, like, it was life-changing for me almost overnight. And I was like mystified by why it wasn't having the same effect on everybody else. And it was really that skill set to be able to bridge the gap for people, to be able to go to a whole different level with people and create that kind of connection and experience and transformation for people. You know, I remember in our very first conversation, when I was sharing with you where I was at, and I said to you, I think I need some kind of, like, I'm going to need some kind of certification or something in this field. And at the time, for you, the Mind Rebel Academy was just sort of a glimmer of light, right, in the back of your mind. Yeah.
It was very serendipitous. It was very it was meant to be.
Yes. Every step of this path has felt like it was meant to be.
So, Kelly, we just talked about, you know, you having made the jump out of the corporate world with this incredible vision. And what's really cool is that your vision's actually never wavered. The vision's never changed. The vision has always stayed the same since you left. The path forward has become more clear to you, and the gaps have shrunk because of the work that you're doing. Yeah. Tell us what you're up to now, and how much closer you are to that vision. Just give us an idea of, I mean, you guys just graduated the end of 2019, so it hasn't even been that long. And I'd love for you to share, what are you up to now? What's going on for you now?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, I am like fully stepped inside my practice, except this time, very different from, I think it was about I've lost all track of time, but we'll say about a year ago, when I had made my first attempt to step inside my vision. What's so different about it now is that I feel, and I say to my husband almost every day, like, it's so energizing to feel like I know what I'm doing, and that I know what to do, and confident in my skill set, and excited about the transformation that I can create for people. And so now I have a beautiful one-to-one practice with clients, where I work with them over a period of time. And it's always a niche in health and fitness. But the beautiful thing about coaching is, and about health health and wellness in general, like it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
And I believe that our health is just, it's at the foundation of a thriving life. And so I have this beautiful one-to-one practice over here. And then I also facilitate my virtual community is still alive and well and thriving and growing with the most beautiful women, and a team of women alongside me that share my mission and helping others get connected to a healthy lifestyle. And what is so incredible about this is that my skill set in working one-to-one with these clients over here is very easily transferable and
totally.
so valuable in working alongside these women over here. And I'll share an insight that I had over my last couple months that has like really helped me get from there to here, is realizing that in the beginning of all this, I invested so much in my business. I invested in so many, again, like those external things, right? The website, the branding,
marketing,
like you name it.
Yeah.
And I had invested heavily in it. And through all of this, I've been able to see that every time I have invested, well, some of those investments, of course, are necessary and valuable, but every time I invest in myself, the return is exponential. And I am like just attracting. It's like every time I invest in myself, I mean, you know, that like the world out around me unfolds in a completely different way.
Yeah. I know. I would say like our successes as coaches in what I call like a soul-led business, where it's like, it is your heart, you are leading heart first, you are leading soul. It's a soul-led business. But our success as coaches is in direct proportion to our growth and the way we invest in ourselves and the way we prioritize our growth. And that is exactly how I have built my practice as well. It's not been about the external things, although yes, you're going to have to like invest in a website, invest, but investing in your personal growth, the payoffs are, there's just no words.
Yeah. It's a remarkable difference. In how I have built my business from where I started to where I am today.
It's beautiful. Oh, Kelly, I love your story. Thank you so much for sharing and for being with us today. It is just so inspiring.
Thank you so much for having me. As I said from the beginning, it's been life-changing from the moment we met.
Do you have anyone kind of sitting on the fence right now of, do I become a coach? Do I need this, or should I pursue this path? Any words of wisdom that you would say to someone on the fence right now?
Words of wisdom would be that becoming a coach, making that commitment to yourself first and foremost, it will transform your life in ways that you never imagined. The impact it has had in myself as a wife, as a mother, stepping into financial integrity. I mean, it's truly the greatest investment in myself I've ever made, and that it also gives me the skill set to share about it with others. It's always been a no-brainer for me.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kelly.
Thanks for having me.